Ryan, do you feel that got away from you in the first few minutes?
It wasn't helpful to score 12-0 down, was it, with a couple of simple plays that we should have handled, but we didn't. I have to say, I'm extremely proud of the way the boys responded. They stuck in there, and we had a little bit more patience. 20 minutes in the second half, we may have got over in the left-hand side and made it really interesting. I think the scoreline, they were deserving winners, Australia, but the scoreline probably flatters them in the end of that late score. So, we've challenged, and it's a tough ask for us from day one to come out here and try and achieve 5 test matches on the bounce in relation to the travel that we have to do. So probably one thing we'd ask the administrators to do in the future, should this tournament go again, is give us a chance, give us some parity in relation to preparation.
Does that mean we've got to have to make sure that the Super League and the English and the Australian Grand Finals are at the same time?
I think it would help, but even if it was something like a break of a week within the 2-week period, just gives a chance in relation to preparation and the travel element of what we do. And I'm confident that that team can compete. I really am. I think we showed in spells tonight that we're a good football team. We got caught cold in the third one after beating Australia at Sydney, and I think we've got some world-class performers within our ranks, and we've done themselves a lot of good in respect of their reputations as footballers. But the reality for us, we didn't come home with a bacon tonight, and we're all very, very disappointed. But they can walk out of this stadium, out of this country, with their prize intact. I'm sure of that. I thought a young back row has grown in stature as it's gone along. I thought Ellis, Locken and Hock show that they're going to be good players in the future. I thought Jamie Peacock's been absolutely outstanding. In every game he's played, he's run his blood to water. People like James Roby and Kurt Yeaman are going to be internationals for time to come. Gareth Rayner stood up to the international level, done really, really well. So we've got a few candidates, haven't we? And there was something a heck of a lot to build on, but we're disappointed that we didn't get to the final, because that was our aim. But in relation to that, just give us a chance, the administrators, and we'll come up with the goods for you.
Ryan, you haven't mentioned there in that list there were no halfbacks mentioned. Is that Great Britain's problem, this lack of creativity?
No, it'd be easy to point the ball tonight to say that Richard Horne or Danny Maguire didn't do it. If you look at Danny Maguire's preparation, he didn't play for 10 weeks. Had 20 minutes in the Super League and was out again for another 5 weeks before he could play again. So in relation to that, it's probably not up to speed, in relation to match fitness. And Richard Horne's jumped in for a test match after 5 weeks of doing nothing. And again, to ask him to kick as well as our previous half had done is difficult. We're not looking for an excuses. We've come here and we've not once whinged, as you would say. So we're not going to do it now. We've got on with it. We know it's the toughest challenge in world sport, irrespective of what anybody says. And we can come out of this joint with our heads held high. We just need an element of help from the administrators, and we'll be competitive. Can't wait for the 2008 World Cup in the next year.
Brian, who do you think will win the final?
Good question. I thought the Kiwis were pretty good and physical against us last week, and I think the Australians will. This is not disrespectful, have to step up a little, but they will. They generally do in finals. I think it's going to be a really close game, so I'm going to sit on the fence. There you go.
Everything you said about the future, Brian, I suggest you're still keen to carry on.
Yeah, I love that. You don't do this kind of thing and that element of sacrifice without loving the job. It is tough for everybody concerned in relation to players and staff alike, and I'd have to pay compliment to our backroom staff who've been great helping me to prepare this team.
Brian, there was plenty of effort, but just sometimes your execution just kept letting it out.
Absolutely. 2 times on the left-hand side, and at the highest level, that's what we told the players before we set up a test match. Tests you every facet as a person. Your concentration, your execution, your ability to concentrate on every play in relation to defence and attack, and we just missed out on execution a little bit tonight, which could have brought the game a whole lot closer and given a chance. And when in reality, when Lockyer darts the point over there with 10 minutes to go, it was a tough ask for us. And then we lacked patience, which was a little bit more patience. So everything's there, just that we needed to put a complete performance together tonight, and we didn't.
Do you think this has been a better series for Great Britain than last year's?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. You've got to look at the asset we're given. We've flown from England in relation to our competitors. When they do that, they get breaks and they get rest whilst they're in England, and we don't. So we've come over here, and bear in mind, most of our players, the furthest they travel for a game is an hour. So to get to Australia, then fly out to New Zealand, then fly back to Australia, then fly up to Brisbane, we're travelling. Ask any NRL player and any NRL coach, that element of travel when you go to New Zealand is tough for anybody. But again, my focus is on the football. I think we've done ourselves a bit of justice over here, and we're bitterly disappointed we're not in the final.
Right, there's always a thought in Australia for the last couple of years that they played tri-nations in England to try and season the bar a bit, the Great Britain. Do you think you guys have put that to bed now?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's most Australia. Most people I spoke to in Australia have looked at Tri Nations. It's had a story. It's been a soap opera story every week. You know, in relation to Blackpool and Sean going home and things like that. There's been plenty to talk about, as well as the football. I think we've had some outstanding performance in our team, and I think the measure of that is to ask our competitors, ask the players amongst Australia and New Zealand if they think we can play, and I think they'll affirm that.
Brian, were you happy with your play the ball speed? Do you think Australia controlled you there?
I've been unhappy, and I probably can say it now because I'll be out of the country in a couple of weeks and nobody can hang me. But I've been unhappy with you know, in relation to parity for the rules, if you like. You know, I've made noises every week in relation to ruck speed for ourselves, and we've managed to poke our noses through, and in particular the ruck speed in relation to what we're doing to get up to speed. And I don't think we've been given a fair crack. You know, I think most of the video referees' decisions may have gone against us, but you know, that might sound like whinging Pom now, and I can't do that.
You said the Australians need to step up a little. What areas do you think in particular?
I think that they're very methodical. The way you're down, they're good. The game plan is that they're working around the middle and then they go to the fringes. I just think, you know, that I think, you know, that in relation to what they've got to do, it's not really something that's been a concern for me in relation to what they've got to do. It's just they've got to, and they'll improve their intensity. I'm sure of that.